The city of David is a remarkable place, and it authenticates archaeologically the biblical record. One of the great things that archaeology has done is that in all of the discoveries and excavations throughout Israel, not one time has an archaeological discovery controverted the biblical record. I think that's a remarkable thing when you have so many people saying the Bible is a myth, that it's a story, but it's not historical. And then every time a spoon of dirt is turned in this city, we find out, yeah, it really did happen. And there's a historic archaeological record to prove that it did. So this is a real slap in the face to the people who want to claim that Jewish presence in the Holy Land is a myth, or that the Jews really don't have a connection to this land. I would say that the city of David is one of the most powerful ways of screaming out the Jewish connection to this land.
Not only a slap, you're aware that there was much criticism amongst the Arab world and the leftist part of the Israeli political spectrum about the fact that American representatives were part of the inauguration of this site.
Well, good. I'm glad they were, because if they hadn't been, I'd have been very disappointed in them. This is not just an incredibly important historical site for Israel. It's an important historical site for the entire world. America, last time I checked, was part of the world, so of course it's a part of it. And the bedrock foundation of the United States is a Judeo-Christian philosophical underpinning. There's no denying that. And the words of the founders made that clear. The actions of the founders made that clear. So where did that Judeo-Christian theology and philosophy originate? Right here in Jerusalem. So for us to not have a connection here would be to deny not only Israeli history, Jewish history, it would be to deny American history as well.
How many times have you been here in Israel already?
I'm sure well over 100. I've lost track. I've been here 5 times this year alone.
So what's the importance? What's the importance of doing these visits? And in this case, we're talking about politicians.
The importance for me as a Christian is the spiritual connection to the fact that I believe in something that's real. I believe in something that every time history and archaeology gets a little deeper and a little better, it affirms what I believe rather than defies what I believe. That's important to me on a personal level. From a larger, more, teleological perspective, this is a reminder that there has been a continual human history that is connected to this space, and that history is rooted in the Bible and in the biblical record, all of which has been affirmed by everything that's been uncovered. That's refreshing to me.
On the political level, and you don't refrain from also relating to the political level, you met politicians, Israeli politicians, especially from the right. And something interesting that you mentioned last night when you met former Justice Minister Ayelet Shaked is that you feel that it's very crucial that the right wins also in Israel and also in America, and there's a connection between both.
Well, the left has embodied the notion that they can build a government, they can build a country, and build a movement on what I think, what I feel, what I believe. So in other words, my think, my feel, my believe becomes more important than physical fact and history. I think that's a very shoddy way to build a future. In fact, I think it's self-destructive. It's like self-immolation to do that. So many younger people are embracing that. So if I believe something, it makes it true. If I feel something, it's true. And if I think something, well, that's just simply ludicrous. I can think I can fly. I can believe I can fly. I can feel like I can fly. But if I get up on the top of the old city wall and jump, guess what? I don't fly. It doesn't work. I'm a musician. I know that before I play a musical instrument, I have to tune the instrument. And every member of the band has to tune his or her instrument before you play. If you don't, I don't care how much of a virtuoso musician you are, it's going to sound like noise, an utter train wreck, because it only is music when everyone is tuned to a standard that is fixed and forever the same. So the fact is, if we tune our culture to what we think, feel, and believe, it's like every member of the orchestra playing set to a different tuning fork, and it's chaos and disaster. So that's what I would say, is that what we have in a biblical record, what we have in the long 4,000-year history of the Scriptures, as it not only has been written, but as it has been lived and illustrated and authenticated by physical presence, we have a tuning fork. And that's what we need, a tuning fork, something to tune our lives to and say, this will work because it was designed this way.
A few words about the Trump administration, the peace plan that is coming, the plan of the decade, whatever you want to call it. There are fears in Israel that maybe at this point, after the Golan recognition, the move of the embassy, it will be now turned for concessions, that maybe there will be many demands for concessions from Israel. What are your thoughts?
I can't imagine this administration somehow thinking that it would push Israel into giving up much needed land, not only for its population to live in, but frankly for its own security. I just don't think that's going to be on the table. And one of the things that is very evident, Palestinians have rejected even the most generous offers in the past. When they were offered 95% of what they were asking for, they got up and walked away from the table. So I think it's pretty clear to anybody who has observed this for a long time that their goal is not to achieve something for themselves, is to deny something for the Jews. And I think America's position ought to be very clear. We stand with the Jewish state of Israel because they have a historic, indigenous connection to the land. They have a right of a place to live on earth, and especially given the incredible anti-Semitism that is now rampant across the world, to give them a sliver of real estate that is 1/640th of the land that is controlled by Muslim-led countries is not too much to ask.
Another fear is that maybe in wake of such a friendly government, such a friendly administration, a Republican administration, and also in wake of what we're hearing from the Democratic Party, maybe the support to Israel is not really bipartisan as it used to be.
It's not as bipartisan as it used to be, and that troubles me. I would say, in all fairness, that historically the Democrats were probably more consistently pro-Israel than even the Republicans were. That's changed dramatically in the last 15 years. I mean, even in the days of Bill Clinton, you had a very strong advocate for Israel. People really couldn't find fault with his appreciation for, or love for, or desire to bring peace for. But with the Obama administration going forward, and now even in an accelerated pace, you do not have that in today's Democratic Party, even among the congressional leadership who are Jewish, like Schumer, Nadler, Engel. They're not outspoken. And when the anti-Semitic comments come from their own colleagues, they don't even push back. And I find that appalling.
Why is that? How do you explain it?
It seems they don't want to offend those constituencies. And they're more interested in the political pandering that is a part of that than they are in speaking truth. And here's the point. We always talk about speaking truth to power. These are people who are afraid to speak truth to young, inexperienced, and I'll use the word ignorant, political figures who don't know what they're talking about when they make outrageous anti-Semitic comments and when they speak of Israel in ways that are clearly untrue, whether it's an apartheid nation or oppressive. These are people who've never been here. They have no idea. I've been coming for 46 years. I can tell you that what they're saying is blatantly a lie. And I think we should stand up to them and challenge them and demand that they come with their own feet and eyes and take a look.
Governor Huckabee, thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.
Hope so. Thank you.